What if I told you that some madrasas meant to be centers of learning are being turned into dens of crime, trafficking and even hiding dangerous weapons? What if behind the veil of religion an organized network has been exploiting young girls, forcing conversions and pushing them across borders? And now shocking visuals from Rampur have surfaced where not just clerics but even mosques are being accused of running this sinister nexus. The allegations are explosive: illegal arms, intimidation and trafficking, and an international link that exposes a much bigger plot. In Rampur, Uttar Pradesh, a horrifying story has come to light through the testimony of a women survivor now known as Yashoda, earlier called as Halima. Her viral video has shaken the nation. She accused local clerics of running a decades-old criminal racket under the garb of religion, a racket that included intimidation, trafficking, exploitation, and even hiding arms inside religious institutions. Her testimony begins in 1992 when her grandfather was forcibly converted to Islam. What followed, she alleges, was a long trail of murders, disappearances, and unimaginable crimes against women and children. According to her, her grandfather and maternal uncle were killed for money. Her aunts went missing mysteriously, and her own mother was held captive inside the Nadrabag Mosque and raped for nearly 14 years and was subjected to brutal abuse by clerics. Yashoda also revealed the shocking fate of her siblings. Her younger sister, she says, was beheaded, while another sister, barely 4 years old, was abused. She herself suffered horrific assaults. She claims clerics not only raped her but even used firearms and knives to cause grievous injuries. These are allegations that cannot be ignored and paint a very disturbing picture of how madrasas and mosques were allegedly being misused. According to her, once given certain medicines, these girls lost awareness of what was happening and could not even remember the next day. She alleged that clerics like Chintu Imtiaz Hussain, Azrar and others supplied these girls to foreign countries. She named there are certain hubs in Nainital, Haldwani, Rudrapur and Nangalia in Uttarakhand as hotspots where many victims remain untraceable. And shockingly, she pointed to cross-border links suggesting that gangs across the Nepal border were also part of this network. The revelations did not stop there. Yashoda claimed that inside the Nadrabag Mosque itself, boxes were kept with 3 layers, the Quran placed on tops, contraceptive medicines and illegal arms and ammunitions hidden at the bottom. If true, this is not just exploitation but also a dangerous security threat, as it suggests mosques being misused for storing weapons under religious cover. In fact, one of the most shocking visuals now circulating shows cleric Rais Ahmad sitting casually in front of illegal firearms, ammunition and pornographic literature, openly threatening women who dare to return to Sanatan Dharma. Can there be any clearer evidence of how deep this network runs and how emboldened these elements have become? Yashoda also exposed a trafficking racket in Badaun. According to her, women linked to clerics like Shamshiram and Tahira Begum abducted children from markets and bus stands and used their so-called makeup shops as covers for drug distribution and trafficking. Girls in burqas, she alleged, were used to deliver drugs. She insisted that this has been going on for years and years. The names she mentioned are not just local clerics but figures tied to the Nadrabag Mosque: Imtiaz, Irfan Haji, Zahir, Shagun, Israr and others. A viral video showed some of these clerics with weapons has triggered widespread outrage across the nation. For years, Yashoda says she begged for justice but was ignored. Authorities dismissed her complaints as a mere land dispute. Some local journalists allegedly helped cover up the case due to political influence of the accused. Only after her video went viral did Rampur police finally register a fresh FIR. One cleric has been detained and investigations are going on. Authorities have even admitted that the case shows patterns similar to the infamous Changur Baba network, which was earlier exposed for running forced conversions trafficking and foreign funded rackets. This entire story raises a bigger question. Is there a systemic jihad being waged against Hindus, one that uses forced conversions, exploitation of women, child trafficking and even weapon smuggling as tools? That is what Yashoda insists, and that is why activists and locals are demanding that central agencies step in. The dimensions are interstate, even international, and cannot be brushed aside anymore. Think about it. When madrasas and mosques, places that should stand for knowledge and prayer, are turned into centers of crime, trafficking and illegal arms, it is not just a social issue. It becomes a national security issue. It is not just about one woman's tragic story, but about a pattern that has been allowed to grow unchecked for decades.